All right, so we are live with Dimitri Kondos. He is our local State Farm agent here in Sellwood, and he's here to bring us some peace of mind today. Dimitri, welcome.
Good to be here. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me. So, you're an insurance agent. We're going to talk a little bit about insurance, and you are highly involved with the community. I've met you at our Sellwood Moreland Business Alliance meetings and gotten to know you that way. And I love how community-minded you are, and I just love your general sort of relaxed vibe you have.
Thanks. I appreciate that. Been working on that for a while.
Yes. So would you say that most people have the wrong kind of insurance or gaps in their insurance?
I would say most people are not 100% informed on what they have on their insurance. A common thing is people are just really price motivated, looking for the best price out there, but they fail to understand the insurance and what it does for them. And really, it's a confusing thing, and people just automatically think if they have insurance, they're taken care of. So it's important to know what you have within your coverages. There's different amounts of insurance for everything, and it's really a customized, tailored approach that we do at our office to help you determine what's the best fit for you.
So step one might be knowing what exactly your policy covers.
Exactly, and that's what we strive for here at this office is, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's not just tell you, hey, this is our best price. Let's get you your insurance and get you on your way. We have more of a systematic approach where we want to get to know our customers, understand them on a personal level, and see really what is it you're trying to accomplish, where are you trying to go, where are you at today, and then what are the gaps in between that. We want to make sure that the unexpected doesn't happen to you, and if it does, we want to make sure that we're taking care of you, and you know exactly what you have, and you know, rest assured that you can sleep at night knowing that if something happens that you don't know about, for example, this coronavirus, that we have a plan in place. We want to be your plan B.
Mm-hmm. And here in Portland, what would you say most people, the holes I would think of would be maybe earthquake, or I hear a lot of my clients talking about their basement either floods or gets some water in it.
Earthquake, liability limits, water damage, you name it. A lot of things people don't understand that certain companies provide different levels of coverage depending on what type of damage is happening. For example, I know some of our competitors do roof depreciation coverage. So one thing that people don't realize is if a tree falls on your roof and all of a sudden you need your roof replaced, does your policy, is it going to replace that 100%? At State Farm, that's the case. But at some other companies, you know, people might be paying a less price, but when that $20,000 roof bill comes and they realize their insurance company only pays for half of that because their roof is 10 years old, they learned the hard way that, hey, I didn't understand my coverages. I didn't realize that was the case. And had I known that, maybe I would have gone with a provider that would 100% take care of that. At the time when the price sounds good, people think, you know, hey, nothing's going to happen to me. But when it actually does happen, that's when, you know, people get upset. They start questioning the insurance company. But at the end of the day, the customer is responsible for what they have. These are common reactive moments that customers do have when something does happen. And we try to take that confusion out of it. We want to meet with you. We want to let you understand exactly what you have. You mentioned earthquake, for example. Earthquake is coverage that's not required in Oregon. 25,000 bodily injury liability limits on your car policy is required. So people automatically need to have that, but they skip over the stuff that really can devastate them. Your biggest asset for most people is your home. And that can be destroyed within seconds if there was a major earthquake. So we like to make sure our customers know, hey, this is an option. At State Farm, it's a coverage that we provide in-house, which is another important thing to determine when you're choosing which provider you want to use. Do you want to go to a company that outsources their earthquake coverage to a third party? You know, if there's a major earthquake in Portland, are you going to be comfortable with trying to figure out who's doing that? If they're going to take care of you on time, if they're going to cut that check to you, or do you want to go with a tried and true company that's been around over 100 years that's going to do that in-house and take care of you right away? So, you know, a lot of people have this nothing's going to happen to me mentality. And when it actually does happen to you, that's when people don't know what to do, don't know where to go. And that's one of the benefits of having a local agent here in the neighborhood is you have somebody to call, somebody to walk you through that. I have a good example of a water claim, a water damage situation at my own house where I was just grabbing a snack out of the kitchen pantry and I looked up at the ceiling randomly, which, you know, I could have not seen the damage, but there was a little silver dollar size bubble in the ceiling of my house. And I was thinking, okay, that's definitely not good. That's probably water damage. And that little iceberg tip could be a huge problem if you rip out the walls. So the first thing that comes to mind is, oh my gosh, this is like the worst thing that could ever happen. And it's never the perfect time for it to happen. It's always the worst time possible. And it's like, okay, what do I do first? Luckily, I'm an insurance agent, so I know the steps, but I was thinking like, oh my gosh, if I had no idea what to do, I would be freaking out because it's 10 o'clock at night. I have to sleep on this all night and figure out what I'm going to do in the morning. But luckily, you know, if you have an agent like myself, you call me, I tell you, hey, we know a few vendors in the area. They can come in, assess it out, check the damage, and get this repaired right away, because the first thing you want to do is just mitigate the damage, mitigate the loss. Other things that popped in my mind is, what's my deductible? Oh my gosh, this is gonna be super expensive. How am I gonna be able to pay for this? If I file a claim, am I gonna have my insurance rates go up? So all these things, you know, stress you out. One thing people don't realize is homeowners deductibles are typically a lot more money than your car insurance. Typically a percentage. So you might have a $3,000 deductible. What we advise is don't just rush and file a claim. Contact us, let's look at it. Let's make sure that we understand how much money the damage is going to be, because filing a claim on your record isn't the best idea, especially if the damage is less than what your deductible is. So we like to have those conversations before. It's nice having a local number to call, an office you could walk into, instead of calling a 1-800 number and dealing with someone in a call center out of this state that has no idea what's going on, but they're just going to push buttons and file the claim, and there you go, it's on your record. Even though the damage was $500 and your deductible is $3,000, it's still on your record. So we like to help you make sure you're making the right decisions. We're trying to mitigate your future expenses. And it's nice to have someone local when actually something does happen. We can actually walk you through it, contact local vendors in the area, and get that problem solved right away.
Yeah, I think if I would have a car accident or a tree fall on my roof, my first thought would be, oh, my insurance would cover this. And most of the time that's the case, but you're saying if it's less than your deductible, it wouldn't make any sense to put it on your insurance or claim it.
Yep, and the most important thing of that is know your deductibles. If something happens out of the blue, which is what insurance is intended for, how much money is going to be out of your own pocket? I always recommend, and also my team here in my office, is have a savings account set aside that covers that deductible, because it always happens at the worst time, right? The tree falls on the car, you're like, okay, I just paid all my bills, I have zero money in my bank account. This is the worst possible time this could happen. So realizing that you have $1,000 deductible adds the insult to injury, and not knowing that in the first place is not a good plan. So what we recommend is know what your deductible is. Really know, is this something that I can afford if something happened tomorrow? If not, let me put a plan in place to have a set aside savings to make sure I'm taken care of. Or I can't afford that, so let me lower my deductible and pay a little bit more every month, but knowing that I'm okay because I can afford that deductible.
And that's something you could do for, say, 6 months or a year, and then maybe you change your policy where you
Yep,
go
and we
high
like to
deductible if you've got some money in savings.
exactly, and we like to do an annual review with all of our customers, and let's look at everything. What are your liability limits? A lot of people don't understand what that means for them. Liability is one of the most important things that you can have on your policy, and having the right amount. A lot of people, they want cheap price. And in Oregon, for example, for auto insurance, Oregon requires drivers to have 25,000 bodily injury, 50,000 for bodily injury if multiple people are involved in the accident getting injured, and they have 20,000 for property damage as your minimum requirement. Now that's what Oregon says. This is what you at least have to have. Now, if you have $1 million in your savings account, having a $25,000 bodily injury liability, you're leaving a lot of exposure for all that time that you spent getting your wealth to where it's at. That can be taken away from you on one accident with a bicyclist. So it's always a good thing to revisit and say, okay, what do I have to lose? What do I want State Farm to pay for if I have a bad accident? And how much of that do I want to pay for? And most customers say, I don't want to pay for any of it. So what we recommend is protect what you have. Some people are overinsured. Most people are underinsured if we're looking at the statistics there. But we like to review that. If you have $1 million in liability coverage, but you have $50,000 in the bank, you might probably be a little bit more insured than you need to be. But like I said, if you have $1 million in the bank and you're only covering an injury for 25,000, we all know if you hit somebody hard enough in a rear-ending situation, they get life flighted to the hospital. That's $50,000 alone right there. So do you want State Farm paying for 25,000 of that, or all of it? But yeah, that's one of the things. We want to take the stress out of everyday life. We know accidents do happen, and when they do, we want to make sure you can walk away from them and not be paying for it for the rest of your life.
And when something happens like that car accident or something in your house, it's shocking and terrifying. You're not thinking straight. You don't know what to do. You might be sort of walking in circles, and who do I call and what's the next step? So you provide some hand holding. You go, okay, here are your next steps. You're going to call this person. This is the water damage guy. I'm going to set you up with this group of people to help you. These are your local providers for auto, body shop, that kind of thing. So what you're doing is creating relationships with other businesses and with your.
Yep, we want, like our motto, like a good neighbor, we want to be the resource for you. If something does happen, it is shocking. I haven't gotten into an accident in a while, but when I did, I was like, oh my gosh, okay, I got to exchange information. Where's my pen? Where's my camera? Where's my phone? So all these things come through your mind. You're on the side of the road, traffic's buzzing by, you're freaking out. The other party's injured. You're like, oh great, what are my insurance coverages at? Nobody usually knows. What do I do next? Do I call the police? I mean, all these things we know what to do, and we want to help you in those situations. And we want to take that fear out of people, because we want to make sure that they know exactly what they have when they walk out of our office and make a purchase on some insurance.
And what would you say the biggest surprise, or the biggest, when you do these reviews, annual reviews, what's the thing that your clients are like, I didn't know that wasn't covered, or I was surprised to learn this thing?
Typically when we're reviewing insurance on a potential customer that's with another provider, what I'm surprised at is they've never had the conversation with their current carrier on what is a recommended liability limit. Most people don't understand how their collision coverage works or their comprehensive coverage works. I see a lot of people with $1,000 comprehensive deductibles, for example. Now, comprehensive coverage covers you if you need a windshield replaced, your car gets stolen, vandalism, a lot of those, small claims that are usually under $250. And the insurance companies that they're with give them $1,000 comprehensive deductibles because they want to give them a good price, but they don't explain how that works. So when someone gets a rock chip in Oregon, which is very common because we gravel the roads in the wintertime, They realize I need a $300 windshield replacement because a rock got kicked up and cracked my windshield. And you automatically think, oh, my insurance is going to cover that. Great. But when your deductible is $1,000, then you get angry realizing, what is my insurance company doing for me? Well, you never had that conversation with them in the first place because they just wanted to get that sale and move on to the next customer. And with us, it's, hey, this is what we recommend. This is a situation where a comprehensive claim could come into place. Luckily, these are non-fault claims, so they're, unless they're highly frequent, they're not going to affect you. And this is what we recommend. And we want to make sure we're not doing a pushy approach, but we don't want that phone call where you're saying, hey, I cracked my windshield, I need to file a claim. And we're saying, well, actually, it's probably going to be a lot less money than your deductible. Sorry. We don't like to have those conversations. So
in an ideal situation, I've met with you, you've covered everything in my policy. I know what I'm covered for. Then if I forget, I'm like, I don't remember if the windshield's covered, and I have a ding or somebody bumps me in the parking lot, I just call you and go, hey, remind me again, what do I do now? And you can say, all right, remember how I told you to put that $1,000 in your savings? You can add to that to pay for that windshield. Or remember, we got this more comprehensive plan that covers all of this stuff. So we'll handle all the details for you.
Yep.
Peace of mind.
Peace of mind. Our biggest thing is when we meet with our customers is, hey, what are you trying to do? We're not just here to be the fear-based scenario. We're going to come help you when the unexpected happens. That's highly unlikely. We want to know more about, hey, what are your goals? What is your 10-year plan? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to purchase that vacation house? Are you trying to just pay off some debt? Are you trying to get that small business started? How do we help you get there? And how do we protect what you have as you're getting along the way? Because that's going to change every year. And we offer options to help you save money and help you put money in your pocket with retirement planning and all those other things.
Oh, now speaking of saving money, you were telling me earlier about some changes you made as far as how we're driving less now.
Exactly. So this is a big thing that State Farm is doing. Is we're trying to put money back in customers' pockets. We understand the severity of what's going on, especially right now. People are getting laid off. People are working from home. Overall, that means people are driving less. Less accidents are happening. Less expenses are coming out of the insurance companies like State Farm. So what we did was we're giving $2 billion back to our customers in the form of a credit over March 20th till the end of May. So anybody that switches to us, anybody that is with us, that is in our auto insurance company, we're putting a credit back on their account in June and July. And then moving forward, we're going to have in Oregon, a significant rate decrease going forward because, we're basing our prices on statistics. State Farm is a mutual company. The customers are considered partial owners, and we want to make sure that we're providing the right price to the risk. And people are driving less. We have this one thing in the insurance industry that's really being really driving the customer is telematics. We have this program called Drive Safe and Save. So if you're a customer that's like, hey, I'm a really good driver, I don't drive very often. I drive during the day where it's very safe. I don't drive at 2 o'clock in the morning, for example. We have a program called Drive Safe and Save, and it's tracking your driving. I know a lot of people are wary of being tracked, but it's tracking your mileage, how safe you're driving, how heavy your foot is on that gas pedal. And those people that are saying, hey, I'm a great driver, why is my rate the way it is? We're like, hey, prove it. Here's this Drive Safe and Save device. We're going to give you a report card every 6 months and track you as far as your safe driving habits. And you're going to get a discount for, it's going to be extremely customized to you. Kind of consider it like your electric bill or your gas bill. When you turn that electric bill, when that electric bill goes up, it's because you have the AC running all day or the heat on. But if you're being conscious about it, you have the Nest or you have it on a program where it's not running as much as it should be. That's kind of like Drive Safe and Save. It's catering our rates to you as an individual. We're not putting you in a pool of people that drive a certain amount of miles. We're putting you in your own category on what you're doing as far as what you're driving. So it's a huge thing that we're rolling out. We have a 10% discount for people that are trying that. And it's kind of the direction of how the insurance companies are going right now.
I got to get on that. I drive like once or twice a week, and I drive like a little old lady. I go under the speed limit.
You definitely should participate in that. You could save up to 50% based on your driving habits.
All right, I'll let you track me if it's going to save me money.
I mean, if you have a cell phone, you're being tracked, is what I tell people. So,
yeah. The cat's out of the bag on that, I feel like, at this point.
We are very, very protective of personal information for our customers. We've never had any issues with that. So if that's a concern of yours, we don't have any issues like that right now.
Okay, so if somebody did want to come in for a review, now's the perfect time to do that, right? We're sort of hunkered down at home. You may have more free time, you may have less free time, but if you do have want to address all these questions about auto coverage, home coverage, deductibles, best way to get a hold of you, I can see your email in the little window here, Dimitri at Kondos Insurance PDX. I'm going to put links when I put this up on my YouTube page. I'll put some links to your business website.
Perfect. Yeah, give us a call. That's what it is. If you're with somebody else or with us, we are here to help review your coverages with you, help make sure that you're in the best place you should be in. And if we become a better fit for you, great. We would love to earn your business. We're not doing in-person appointments right now, but we are doing phone appointments. And what my ask is, if you're with us or with another provider, is if you're with us, we're going to send you your policy information. That way you can follow along as we're reviewing your coverages. We like to go line by line and start with your auto insurance. These are your liability limits. What do you have to lose? Okay, there's a potential gap there. These are your deductibles. Are you comfortable paying this out if something happened to you today? These are also coverages on your policy. Roadside assistance. Do you have AAA or do you want our roadside assistance? You don't need double. We recommend at least having one though. If your car's in the shop, do you need a rental car? We have an option to have coverage on that. So all those things we go line by line, making sure you're comfortable with what you have. Our recommendations, but at the end of the day, we want you to have an educated decision on what you want to do. And then we'll go over the homeowners. This is what you have. This is what you don't have. Are these important to you? Would you like to add those to your policy? Liability, do you understand how umbrella works? Is that something you would be, that would benefit you? Umbrellas cover you in a car, at your home, or anywhere in the world you are. And that covers you for litigation, lawsuits, things like that. If you have a lot of retirement, money in the bank, we want to make sure that doesn't get taken away from you because you've worked so hard to get to where you're at. Accidents do happen. And is that $100 a year important to protect your $1 million retirement? So questions like that we want to really do a customized approach on when we look under the hood of your financials, what you have, do you have the right plan in place to take care of you if the unexpected happens? And if you do, great. If you don't, these are what our recommendations are. What do you want to do?
Awesome. All right, I'm gonna put this up on the YouTube page, and that'll show people how they can get a hold of you. But I appreciate you going through all this with us today. And I'm gonna get a hold of you next week. We can talk about my little old lady driving.
Yes. Let us know. I mean, we are here. Our door's locked, like I said, but we have regular hours. We're open Saturdays from 10 to 2 as well. So if you need anything, if you want to call, if you're with another company, we're happy to help. We try to take the confusion out of insurance, like I said. And at the end of the day, we're trying to earn your business, but we want to make sure that you understand what's going on.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, Dimitri. I appreciate you.
Thanks for having me. Take care.